Hello, hello, everyone. Hi, Gary. My fantagonist. Oh my God, I love that so much. I squealed when I saw that you became a patron on my Patreon. I was so excited. I'm not even joking. I came back to work after uh, being in Ashland, and I told my whole entire team all about you and how much I absolutely love you. Um, Hi, Anne. How are you? MB, hi. I am as cozy as it gets. I'm literally in my bed, um, in my like Christmas, uh, like bedding. I was like, and like it had like in the my cozy club sweater with my gingerbread earrings. Hi Alicia, how are you? Um I'm as cozy as it gets right now. I was like, my office right now is just so cold. And when I walked in to grab the book that we're about to discuss, Can't Judge a Book by Its Murder, I was like, it's too cold in here. I was like, I just bought myself a heated blanket, and I was like, no, mm-mm, there's no way that I'm doing book club in here because I even have my heated blanket underneath this. Like, this is just my vibe, my whole entire vibe. How the heck is everyone? I'm so sorry about last week. My laptop literally was just like, no, it is the end of my life, and went kaput. It was ridiculous. Um, I'm so excited that you have joined the book club. Thank you, thank you. And it's like a whole sweater set, MB. This is like embroidered on, and then I have like matching sweat bottoms. I got it from Old Navy. So if anybody wants to match with me, go look it up at Old Navy. But the moment I saw it and it said Cozy Club, I was like, it's like they made it for me, and I couldn't not go. I couldn't not buy it. Thank you. I am bound and determined to be as Christmassy as I can. Like, this book just came in today, The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, and I got it on audiobook. Um and so I'm thinking I'm going to tandem read it because I am told that this book
Door opened, Alex room door.
apparently my husband's done putting down Alex. I'm told that this book is really good. It's like a cozy mystery meets romance or something. That sounds amazing. Um, hey, from Bent Mountain, Virginia. It's literally 10 degrees. That's gross. That's Lee, that's so cold. It is not that cold here. It's currently 49 degrees. So it's not that cold, but I am a big baby when it gets cold. I love cold, don't get me wrong, but I like staying warm while it's cold. Hey Dee, how are you? Uh yes. I hope everyone is staying warm and cozy. Yes, you should buy it, MB, and then we can match. Uh, yes. I just got in the spirit by reading A Holiday Homicide. Ooh, yay! I am waiting for the audiobook. It comes out in 6 days. I have it on Kindle, and I'm like, it's just like teasing me there in my Kindle, but I have been reading all of them via um audiobook because they're just so darn good, and I'm just like, I have to. Hi Ivy, so good to see you. Ah, I've missed you guys so much. um while we're waiting, let me recap with what Can't Judge a Book by Its Murder is all about. It's by Amy Lillard, and it's the cutest freaking cover. I loved the cover for it. Um, Not every murder is by the book, as Sugar Springs gears up for its all class high school reunion. Um, Mississippi bookstore owner Arlo Stanley prepares to launch her largest event. And while I'm reading, give me your Clio rating or your star rating for the book. A book signing with the town's legendary alum and best-selling author Wally Harrison. That's when Wally is discovered dead outside of Arlo's front door and her best friend is questioned for the crime. When the elderly ladies of Arlo's Friday night book club start to investigate, Arlo has no choice but to follow behind to keep them out of trouble. Yet, with Wally's reputation, the suspect list only grows longer. Between running interference with the book club and working to get Chloe out of jail, Arlo is dismayed when her one-time boyfriend turned private eye returns to town. The last thing she needs is another distraction while she digs to uncover the truth around Wally's death and just what Sugar Springs' secret could have led to his murder. And so that was the first book in the Main Street Book Club Mystery series. So we've got 3 Cleos, 2 Cleos, 3.5 Cleos, gave it 4 Cleos and really enjoyed it. 2.5, 2.75, 2 Cleos. Okay. I also gave it 2 Cleos. I don't know if it was because I was in a mood or what, but I do have some feelers about it. As you saw, I did not come up with discussion questions because life was crazy during that week because it was like Thanksgiving week and trying to juggle a 4-year-old while like that was my very first time having Alex at home with me during a school break because normally he would be at daycare, but now that he's a pre-care, he has the same breaks as me, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. But so I was distracting him as much as I could. So I was not able to get like a character list done or anything like that. Diva also gave it 2 stars, but there were some things that I was absolutely obsessed with. So, one of the things that I was obsessed with was I loved, and you guys are not gonna be shocked by this at all, I loved the older ladies, right? Her Friday night book club ladies. I loved their feisty personalities. Um, I loved I loved like the fact that one of them, because of course I can't remember names, um, she always had her purse on her and like it was always attached to her. And I loved that when they were in the jail cell trying to get Chloe out of it, I was just like dying because she was like, "Oh, here's here's an electric scrambler for like the electric lock on it." And like she just had like all of these weird gadgets. Oh my god. Like that was that was worth reading the book for because they were cracking me up. Was I was dying. It was so freaking like they were hilarious. Um I appreciate the extra time to read it because it was hard for me to get through. D also gave it 2 stars. These ladies actually need a spin-off series. I would read the hell out of that. I would rather read about them, really. Agreed. This was a reread for me. I tried it once and DNF'd it, then picked it up again and managed to finish it and gave it 3 stars. This time I listened and liked it a little better by a half a star. I loved the book club ladies in theory, but they were so similar I forgot who was who. Needed more distinct personalities. I agree, Meg. It's really, really hard to write so many different personalities and make them distinct. Um, it's very hard to be able to do that, and it's also really hard to have so many personalities, so many people in general in a first book, because we have like the two characters. We've got Arlo and Chloe, right? And then we've got the three older ladies. I think it was only three. Yeah, the three older ladies. But then we've got like the sheriff, and then we've also got her part-time, or her ex-boyfriend, who is now like a PI. And then we've got we also had to remember Wally, and then his wife, and then his assistant, who was Russian. And then there were also minor characters within that as well. But there were so many women that were so close together that it was kind of hard to keep them separated. Um, I read early in the month, and sorry to say it wasn't that memorable. I did like the older ladies, but I always get my girls I always like my girls a little bit older. Me too. They're my favorite. Um, Camille was my favorite, proper but flirty. Yes, she was fantastic. Uh, I so my job is a digital learning specialist for my district, and one of the things that we do is community outreach for parents and guardians and things like that. And I always get given the grandparents night because people know how much I love my older feisty people. And so I'm so excited. It's coming up, I think, next month, and I get to just spend like an hour or two sitting with the grandparents of students in our district and teaching them like how to get onto like our platforms and like different things like that. And it's one of my favorite things ever to do. I love it so much. Um, I had a really hard time getting into it. I liked the older ladies, but I thought the sheriff was ridiculous, hated the triangle, and it had all the things I don't like about small towns. Yes, there was so there were so many things that I had issues with when it came to um like the dynamics of the small town and relationships. So one, I hate I don't like love triangles at all. And this one was very, very confusing because it was like she did the sheriff dirty when she was in high school, and then the PI did her dirty whilst they were in high school, and so everybody broke everybody's hearts, and now they're all like sidestepping each other now, and it's all awkward. And so like I was getting secondhand embarrassment for her, and I hate getting that way for characters when I'm reading for like about them. And then there were a couple of times that I almost DNF'd the book. Like I literally almost was just like, no, sorry guys, I'm not finishing this book. Was when Arlo and Chloe went to the diner, and yeah, I think it was or maybe it was just when Chloe was going to the diner, but the gay couple was sitting at the counter, or like in a booth, and she intentionally pointed them out and like made it seem as though like they were outcasts in the town, and that pissed me off. Like I I was so mad reading that part of the book, and then when she later in the book, when Arlo was being sort of, like, stared and gawked at or whatever, she went back into the diner, and that couple was in the diner again, and she was like, it's really bad when the couple that's talked about the most or gossiped about the most is gossiping about you. And I was like, that's a really shitty thing to say. I was like, I can't believe that, that should not have been okay to, like, write in a cozy. And, like, I'm like, it's just that was not for me, that was not okay, especially, like, this book was written in 2019. Um, that was just it it blew my mind, and I am I'm one of those in my family and in my household, everybody is considered or is loved and treated with respect, and, like, that's just not something that I was okay with reading, and that is why well, one of the main reasons why it got a 2 stars for me. I was not okay with that. Um uh, yes, the love triangle, the strangest love triangle, the diner was cringe. It was a weird triangle because I don't believe anyone wanted each other. Yeah, it just, like, felt forced. High school, let it go. Yeah, especially because it was so long ago. I hate when books go back to incidents in high school when you are clearly adults now. Mhm. Exactly. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how far off from reality that is in small Mississippi. I grew up there and do not live there anymore. That's disgusting, and that also makes me mad because even though it even though that could be like how it is in Mississippi, which it shouldn't be, um, keep it out of my cozies. Ugh. The diner was so cringe, and I hated the way she talked about that gay couple. Exactly. I was like, "No, go away." Like, that was not okay with me. Um, I was that just it took me out of the book so much that, like, it took me a while to go, "Okay, Courtney, this is your book club. You actually have to finish the book." Like, if anybody in the book club has to finish a book, it has to be you, the person who's running it. So, I forced myself to continue into it. Um, but I also was very, I think what another thing that sort of pulled me out of the book club more than or like the book more than normal is her relationship with the sheriff and like what she was able to get away with when it came to like the investigation. Um you always have to suspend your belief a little bit when it comes to cozies or like amateur sleuthing and things like that, right? Like with their ability to get into the crime scene or their ability to like talk to suspects and different things like that. Like you always like sort of um suspend your belief, but for how much the sheriff just sort of like turned his back and like let her get away with like almost like murder. um it was very hard for me to be like, come on, like I know this town is small and I know that you used to have a crush on her, but like you would not have been able to go back there and like bring her that food and like the cat, like to take the cat back there with the kitty litter box and like all of that. I was like, come on, come on. I really, 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 really wanted to love this book because, like, reading the back of this book, I was like, "This is my thing. This is a bookstore book club book with feisty older ladies and like two best friends owning a bookstore together." If you would have like put this in front of me as like a blind date with a book and put those things on the front of it, I would have said that this would have been a 4 out of 4 stars for me or a 5 out of 5 stars for me and should just like take my money. I like hands down that's what it would have been for me. But it did not end up the way that I wanted it to. Like, I really wanted it to. And then another thing that I think was really hard for me was the fact that Chloe, left her child with her parents. Um, that was hard for me as well because, like, my mom had me when she was 19, um, and like, she didn't have her high school diploma, like, um but, like, I never lived with anybody other than my mom. Like, my mom did live with, like, my nanny and my papa for the first part of my life whenever I was a baby, um, but other than that, like, we lived in apartments together and, you know, my I never was separated from my mom, and then when my mom met my dad, like, even more so. And so it was just kind of, I guess, kind of triggering to me that, um, Chloe, once she needed her independence, didn't take her son with her. Instead, she let him stay with her parents, um and I know that that's just, like, I shouldn't care about that because Chloe is not the main character of the series at all, uh, but things like that pull me out of the story. If something does not make sense to me, um, or, like, it's just, like, not computing, then it pulls me out of the mystery, and it makes me, not be able to pay attention to the parts of the story that I actually am enjoying. Um, I have read this concept better in books. I love book clubs that investigate crimes. Me too. There was one that I read. It's like oh my goodness, I can see the cover in my mind. It's like cheese sticks or straws something book club. It was really, really good, but it was a book club cozy mystery series that was really, really good. That was one of my very first cozy mystery series that I ever read that I really enjoyed how they did it. It kinda made me sad, her son not living with her. She kept saying she needed space, but then felt a way about her mom taking control. Exactly. I know so many young moms who have done a great job, and she didn't seem too into him. Yeah, and that just, like, uh, and as a mom now, like, that makes me even more sick to my stomach. That is true, it pulled me out of the mystery. I almost forgot this was a mystery, it seemed like an afterthought with all the subplots. I was sad that she left her son with her parents. Mhm. Her living without her son made no sense. I wondered why she would be content being an outsider in her child's life, right? Like those everyday conversations, like the tucking in bed. Like I I'm very emotional right now, but like uh I just put Nick to bed, right? Like I cannot imagine not holding his hand while he's falling asleep, like, not being there. I don't know. I was actually distracted by the name of the bookstore because it wasn't great. Arlo and Chloe's Books and More. Yeah. No, there's so many ways that you could have done that. I thought it was strange that Chloe wasn't with her son. She could have also lived at the parents' house. Just weird and unnecessary drama in a cozy. Exactly, like, it just pulled it out, like, I'm wondering if the author thought that maybe that gave Chloe more depth. I mean, like, the son being in the book was one of the main reasons why we had a plot in this book in the first place, right? Because Wally ended up being her son's dad, um, who signed away his rights and, like, left. And then he had come back and was basically like, "I now wanna be a dad, and I now want to be, like, a part of all of this." And so I can understand why, like, Amy, our author, um, had to really talk about it in this book and everything, but I feel like they didn't have to make Amy live away from her son and, those kind of things. I feel like it just didn't make sense for that. Or I don't know. I just don't understand, yeah, why she could not have just, like, maybe lived in an apartment a above her, parents', like, garage or something about that. I don't know. Um, I'm curious how folks felt about having a dead body as of page 1. This was a new one for my cozy reading. Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Um, so I will say that, when I've been talking to, like, agents and publishers, they've been wanting the, dead body as fast as possible. So, I'm of a different opinion as a cozy mystery, reader, as well as an author now. Like, I personally love getting to know my my main characters, my sleuth, and like the world that they're going to live in just a little bit more before the dead body comes. Um, I'm okay if the dead body comes in chapter like 5 or 6, maybe even 7. But uh, I know that a lot of publishers and agents are saying that they want the body as soon as possible. Like, they don't, if after the first um 20 pages it's not there, um then they don't they don't want it. Um so that's been a topic of discussion. But yeah, I'm wondering, what do you all think about the dead body literally being um right there, because it's within the second paragraph. A dead body right there on the sidewalk, directly in front of her bookstore. Um, I think she thought she was giving her son a better life living with her parents than what she could offer him. It is strange to put in a cozy mystery, though. Agreed. That was one of the things that I didn't mind. I felt like we got so much info that I knew him. Okay, yeah. I wanted to see interactions between Wally and the suspects. I want to either like or hate him before he dies. Yes, see, and that's one of the things that I want. I want you to feel how I feel, because, like, I intentionally am killing the person for a reason. The story was all over the place with too much going on. Yes, I will say that, so I listened to it on audio, um, but I could not I had to slow it down actually to 1.5. Uh, but I could not keep up with, where it was going. So, like, at first I thought that the killer was going to be the brother of, the guy that Wally was in the car crash with in high school. But then I thought that it was going to be his ex or his wife. And then I went to his assistant, and then I went back to his wife, and then I went back to his assistant. Um, and it did end up being his assistant, but it was so all over the place that I was constantly second guessing myself, which, I mean, you can either say that that's like, then the author did her job, um, or it was just confusing. Um, I like when the author makes a villain out of the victim before the murder. Agreed. Agreed. I want to make you despise them, loathe them, and understand why I am killing them. Yes. Yes, the assistant was almost too obvious, which is why I was like, I the assistant was my very first guess. Like, automatically, I was like, yeah, it's the assistant, duh. And then I second guessed myself. And then I was like, no, I'm right. And then I was like, no. And I'm like, but no, I'm right. And then I was like, no. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't know. But I ended up being right. But I don't think that I will be continuing this series. But I think someone said that it only ended up being three books in the series anyway. I it makes me sad. I really wish that I mean, this author has a ton of backlist items, but they mostly wrote romances, it looks like contemporary romances, Amish romances. They do have some like some mysteries under their belt, but like historical romances, they've got a lot of that going on that they've written. So definitely not continuing. I thought the killer was Daisy because she was raised on a mushroom farm. That's what I thought at first, but then I was like, but who talked about them being on a mushroom farm? Because Daisy was too embarrassed about that. It was the assistant who even brought up the mushrooms to begin with. Not continuing. Too many books in the world and in my living room. Yeah, exactly. I have way too many books just like sitting around me right now. Just, you know. So speaking of books, for December, for those that are new, that have never been a part of a book club in December. So in December, I always have the Cozy Escape, or I always have the 12 Days of Cosmos, which is a readathon that I host on my YouTube channel. And I do things on Instagram. So right now I wrote like a mini mystery that people are like guessing in my stories, like on what the mini mystery is about, as well as little things like treat yourself, little prompts and posts and things like that. But we always read a Christmas mystery as well. And I normally pick, we don't vote for December. And we're going to be doing a live stream like this on the 18th of December. And what we're reading is Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret by Benjamin Stevenson. And so if you would like to join for December, this is the book that we're reading. It's a festive mystery. And one of the reasons why I'm very excited about it is this year's theme for Cosmos is a advent calendar. So like I designed an advent calendar, and like every day it's opening on my Instagram and you're seeing like a new advent calendar part. But this is actually, it even has an advent calendar theme in here. And so little things are popping up and I am loving it. I am 44 pages into it, and this one's really short, which is why I'm pretty happy that we can read it by the 18th, because there are only 169 pages on it. But let me read the back of it for you. If you haven't read the other books by Ernest Hemingway or by Benjamin Stevenson, they're fantastic. He wrote, I already read the other two books by him. Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone and Everyone on This Train is a Suspect. They're fantastic. I love them. But this one is My Name's Ernest Cunningham. I used to be a fan of Golden Age mysteries until I found myself frequently stuck in the middle of real life ones. I'd hoped that any self-respecting murderer would take it easy over the holidays. I was wrong. So here I am at the Christmas show of world famous magician Rylan Blaze, whose benefactor has been murdered. My suspects are all professional tricksters: the magician, the assistant, the executive, the hypnotist, the identical twin, the counselor, the stagehand. If I can see through the illusions, I know I can solve it. After all, a good murder is just like a magic trick, isn't it? Everyone this Christmas is a suspect. Bum bum bum. I'm very excited about this. Um, so yeah, I hope that you guys are excited about this. Would I be able to jump into this book without having read the others? Yes. So this is it is a standalone. Uh you're not going to get any spoilers for the other two books. They're like they'll mention um characters from the other books, but it's standalone mysteries from themselves. uh got it and can't wait to read it. Yes, it will 100% make sense without the other ones first. um, just got everyone from the library. I want to read and take notes quick so I can return to the library so someone else can join. Yeah, everyone in my family has killed someone. I read that at the end of, I think, 2022. It was the very last book that I read on December 31st, and it was so good. And then when he came out with everyone or someone on this train has killed someone or whatever it is, it's the train one. Everyone on this train is a suspect. I immediately bought it and listened to it, and it was just uh so just this Benjamin Stevenson is a fantastic mystery writer. I have not been able to figure it out before he is ready for me to figure it out. Like, I actually write in these books. I'm not listening to the audiobook for this one. I am actually writing it out. Like, I am writing on the advent calendar. Like, this is my handwriting. These are my highlights. Like, I am going through and like actually marking things down because I'm bound and determined to figure it out before he wants me to figure it out. Now, that's half the fun for me, especially with this guy. He's just that darn good. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I am so happy that we still got to do this, even though the majority of us did not like this. And you know what? I'm happy for those that this book was a good one for you. That's the whole entire point of book club, right? Like, that's one of my things that I say every single time. Um, the point of book club is introducing ourselves to new authors, new series. Not every one of them is going to be a knock out of the park for every single person, but it could be a knock out of park for one or for the majority or for some, and that's like the whole point of book club. Um if you guys didn't see, I'm making some changes to Patreon, like the Patreon tiers. And I'm really excited about it. Um I was getting a little burnt out on the making individual book recommendations, mostly because there weren't a lot of people. Like, in September, I only had one person out of like the 25 that are signed up actually fill out the form to get a book recommendation. And so I was feeling kind of burnt out on that, and I wanted to sort of change it up and do something a little bit different. So if you haven't hopped over to Patreon to sort of see um some of the new stuff I'm excited about, you should go and do that. And keep an eye out. I'm going to start posting polls for what you want each what you want each month next year to be themed for, because you guys get to vote this year, and then I will be able to create our themes for next year. I can't believe that we are going into 2025, and we've been doing this book club since 2017, 2018, something like that. It's amazing. But you guys are fantastic, and I love your faces. And I'm going to read as much of this as I can before I fall asleep in my bed, because I've already squished all of the pillows in the perfect squishy position. So, good night, everyone. Mwah. Sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs bite. And I'll see you in 2 weeks to chat about everyone this Christmas has a secret. But good night, everyone. Bye.